This is Amud Yomi Gemara and Shabbos Tav Kovav Amud Beis. We're holding on the very bottom of Kovav Amud Aleph at the Mishnah, and we move on to the malacha of tzad, the malacha of trapping. One of the more difficult malachas in Lamdus, as we'll see. So many of the incredible klalim of Olach Shabbos come from over here. Says the Mishnah, Rav Yehuda Omer teaches Rav Yehuda, Hatzad tzibur lemigdal, someone who traps a bird by putting it into a migdal, a closet, utzvi labayis. Or if someone traps a deer into a house, chayiv, he is chayiv for the malacha of tzad. He's chayiv, and this really starts to explain that the malacha of tzad is not as we would conventionally think it, that you literally trap something. If something walks into an area and you shut that door, you make it go into a house, you make it go into a migdal, that is called tzad. If you put a bird into a closet, then yes, say the Chachamim, that is trapping. But we move over to Kavav and Beis. It continues the Mishnah. Utzvi legina lechatzir lebeivarim. By a tzvi, say the Chachamim, it's much more broad. It's a larger animal. So legina, if it goes into a garden, lechatzir, a courtyard, beivarin, enclosure, chayiv, even though it's in a very large area. But that is part and parcel at some level of the mlacha of tzad. Rashba Goimer, look, bivarim shavin. Not all enclosures are the same. Zaklal. If it's mechusar seida, if it still needs to be trapped, you have a deer in this massive area, very good, it's at some level enclosed, but there's no way you can actually catch it, you're potter. If it's einay mechusar seida, no, it's a small area, it's right there, then you are chayiv. So says the Gemara, Tanan Hasam, we learned in the Mishnah. Ein sadin dagim nevar miyamti, you're not allowed to trap fish from a pond in Yantav. Einos of name is Zainis. Aval, sadin chayva. If you're allowed to catch sadin wild animals or fowl, the nice of name is Zainis, and you can just place food in front of them. Vereminu will ask you a stira, bevarin shachayis. Shalai v'shaldagin ein sadin and beyond, you're not allowed to trap with them on Yantiv. Venus of name is Zainis, kasha chaya chaya, kasha ifis, the direct stira. Answers the Gemara Bishlam, chaya chaya like kash. Why? Our Mishnah, Hareb Yehuda, Harabanan. The Chacham in the Mishnah say that when it's in a bivar and when it's in an enclosure, it's considered trapped, and therefore, once it's inside that area, you're allowed to take it on Yantif. Rav Yehuda says that no, the fact that it's in an enclosure is not called trap, and therefore, if you go and you trap it on Yantif, that would be the Mlach of Tzad. Eloifais Kasha, says the Gemara, that is shver. V'chit, I'm not going to tell me if I was not like Kasha. Ha-bever mekaira, bever she'enoi mekaira. Why? Because when do we say allowed to take a bird? Is when it's in a roofed enclosure. It's already considered trapped. Ha-bever she'enoi mekura. When the Brisa says you're not allowed to take a bird, is when it's not, it has a roof, it doesn't have a roof, it's not called enclosed. V'abayis de mekuru, it can't be. Why? Because a bayis, by its very nature, a house has a roof. Obey the Rabbi, the Rabbanan, Sivra Migdalin, it said in the Mishnah, what? Where are you chayiv for a tzipor? Only lemigdal. But labayis lai. So we still have a stira. Answers the Gemara, Amar Rabba bar Ravuna, or about 20 lines down. The first word line is Amar, Hacha b'tzipor dror askina on the Mishnah. When Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim hold that a tzibor into a migdal, into a closet, is considered trapped, is a tzibor drar, a certain type of bird, marus, it doesn't accept marus authority. So if it's only going to be chayiv if it's in a very small area, it's in a closet. Tanvir Yishmael, it lives in a house like a field, meaning it's hard to catch it. So the only time it's going to be chayiv is going to be when it is in a smaller area. Whereas when it comes to a yomtiv, the halacha is then any roofed enclosure is going to be a problem by a regular bird. Says the Gemara, wait, if you're already coming onto this chalik between the type of bird, we can make a similar chiluk, a large enclosure, a small enclosure. Hey, says the Gemara, if you could chase the animal, and you could catch it with one grass, beaver cut, beaver cut linami. Or maybe the gather is maybe small is when the shadows of one wall is cast upon the other wall. That's beaver katan. Beaver gadol is vidach beaver gadol inami uksi, where there are not many corners that the animal can run into is a beaver katan vidach beaver gadol. And the truth is, these are the qualifications, the halacha on the size of items. But just to realize that, for example, let's say someone has a bird that flies into a house, it's a beis medrash. So if you're going to say that that bird is called trapped, then you can have a problem letting it out, because you also can't do the opposite of tzeda. But if you're going to say that no, you can't, that bird might be inside a room, you're right, it's quote unquote trapped, you can't catch it, but you want to for sure not, so then it would be less of a problem. Rashbag, we quote the end of the Mishnah that said, local bevar and shavin. Says the Gemara about 15 lines in the white lines, the two dots. Amar Yisrael, Amar Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Halacha kirashbag, that you're chayev when you come to a deer only in a place where it's already trapped, a small enclosure. Amar le Abai halacha v'chal depligi. Amar le ma'inav klachmina. Amar le Gemara zamartati. It's a Gemara. You're going to tell me it should be a song? I want to know what the emes is. Tanarabana, Natzvi Suma V'Yashin, trap a blind to sleeping deer, Chayev, Chiger Zaken V'Chayla, trap a lame, older, sick deer, then Potter. What is the reason that if it's blind or sleeping, you're Chayev, but to lame and old, you're not? Says you are honey vidiler abuyi, a sleeping deer, a blind deer, they still could slip away, they're still not easily catched. Honey, whereas the other ones, an old lame and sick deer, avid or bui, they're not easy to slip away and you can easily catch them. But a sick deer, it says you're chayiv. Seemingly that we just said a sick deer, you should be potter. Amrav sheishes like kasha b'chilam achmas ishsa fever. Such a deer will lamaisa someone to want to run away. B'chilam achmas ufsina fatigue. The deer will not be able to run away. You catch grasshoppers, gizin, hornets, mosquitoes. Chayiv. Anything that you normally trap, again, is chayiv, is a daraisa. Is going to be potter, but let's remind yourselves again, potter doesn't mean it's mutter, it means it is a derabanan. Tani Yidach, another brace. Trap grasshoppers during there's dew on the floor, potter. B'shas shrav when it's hot, chayiv. Potter. If they're running in groups, then you're potter. See, Bayalu says the Gemara Lazbin Mahavia Reisha Koya Seifaka. What does Lazbin Mahavia say when he says that he says it's coming to be machmer or mekel tashema? When there's dew potter, b'shas shrav, and is he chayiv? Lazbin Mahavia Yomer explicit. Afilu b'shas shrav. His potter, if coming in swarms, he's going to be potter. So Lazbin Mahavia is clearly talking about the last day of the Tanakama. We'll pick it up from the Mishnah in Mirza Hashem.